Hi guys, so I welcome you all to today's lecture under the fast track series for RBI Grade B 2018, which has been brought to you guys by EduTap. Before proceeding forward, let us briefly look at what this series entails for you guys. So in this particular series, we are going to attain a comprehensive coverage of current affairs from the month of May 2018 to 15th August 2018, that is before your examination. And again, in this particular series, we are going to alternatively cover topics of ESI, that is economic and social issues, and finance and management, which will be covered through important problems under multiple choice questions or MCQs. Now, we have been working in this direction for the past few years, and we have been blessed with some of the very amazing results in the past few years. Now in RBI Grade B 2017 results, 124 of our students, they reached the interview stage, and 27 of the students, they made it to the final list. Now apart from the different other courses which we are running, we are offering these courses for RBI Grade B 2018 examination. So these are the different courses which you guys can choose from. So there is a wide range of courses and you can choose according to your requirement. Now in case you need to know more, you have any query, you can always visit our website, which is www.edutap.co.in, or you can drop us a mail at deepak@edutap.co.in, or you can call us at 8146-207-241. In this video, we are going to cover some of the very important current affairs for our examination from the dates 19th June 2018 to 23rd June 2018. So let's start with the first news of the day, which is 18th of June being observed as the World Sustainable Gastronomy Day. So this, we have to remember that the 18th of June is observed every year as World Sustainable Gastronomy Day. Now gastronomy, it is a study of relationship between food and culture. So this is important. What is gastronomy? So gastronomy is the study of relation between food and culture. It is the art of preparing and serving rich, delicate and appetizing food. It includes the cooking styles of particular regions and even includes the science of good eating. Now Sustainable Gastronomy Day, it emphasizes that we should pay attention to the role that sustainable gastronomy can play in the entire world. All these things which are incorporated in sustainable gastronomy, they have a huge potential for the entire world. Now UN General Assembly on 21st of December 2016 passed a resolution, and in this resolution it dedicated 18th of June as International Observance for Sustainable Gastronomy Day. So this is some very small information, some very small bits of information which we have to remember for our examination. Now the next one is about the launch of COP Connect app. So this COP Connect app has been recently launched by Telangana Police, and this app seeks to connect the over 60,000 police force across the 31 districts in the state of Telangana. So this is about this particular app. This app is going to help the police forces in the state of Telangana connect with each other and to deliver their services in a more better way. So this app, it has adequate security measures in the form of end-to-end encryption, and all this is going to ensure that there remains confidentiality of internal police communication. It also has an meeting feature with which you can schedule meetings, schedule departmental meetings, and even you can set reminders. So we have to remember that this COP Connect app has been recently launched by the Telangana Police. So this is important. Now the next news item, it relates to WHO classifying gaming addiction as a mental health disorder. So WHO has recently classified gaming addiction as a mental health disorder in its International Classification of Diseases 11. So this gaming disorder, it has been defined by WHO as a pattern of gaming behavior in which the control which is characterized by impaired control over gaming. So the people just have the urge that they have to indulge into gaming, and this urge, this interest in the gaming, it takes precedence over all other interests and daily activities, and all the other activities, they suffer due to this gaming. Now ICD, that is the International Classification of Diseases, it is maintained by WHO and it is revised periodically, and ICD 11, it is going to be presented at the World Health Assembly in May 2019 for adoption by WHO member states, and it will come into effect from 1st of January 2022. Now the next one is about the Rani Rashmoni Indian Coast Guard ship. So Indian Coast Guard has commissioned last of the 5 fast patrol vessels, that is ICGS Rani, Rashmoni in Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. So we can be asked this question that recently Rani Rashmoni was in news, and which of the following correctly describes this Rani Rashmoni? Is it a nuclear powered submarine? Is it an Indian Coast Guard ship, or etc.? So we have to remember that it is a fast patrol vessel. It is an Indian Coast Guard ship. So far, 4 such ships by the name of Rani Abakka, Rani Avantibai, Rani Durgavati and Rani Gaidanalu, they have been commissioned and they are in active service at various locations on the eastern seaboard. Now, fast patrol vessels, they are equipped with advanced sensors and they perform different tasks including surveillance, search and rescue, anti-smuggling and anti-poaching operations. Now, this fast patrol vessel, it was indigenously designed by Hindustan Shipyard. Now the next news item, it relates to women bearing uneven burden of family planning. So this is according to the 11th report of Common Review Mission of National Health Mission. Now as per this report, it has been identified, it has been concluded that women, they are bearing uneven burden in family planning and they account for more than 93% of sterilizations in the country. Now this CRM or Common Review Mission, it is an external evaluation of the flagship National Health Mission, and according to this particular findings, according to this report, it has been found that in 2016-17 of the total sterilization procedures, 93.1% they were female procedures which are known by the name tubectomies, and only around 7% they were male sterilization which are known by vasectomy. The vasectomy or male sterilization services still remain inadequately available across the country. So this is the important conclusion, and this is something which we have to remember. We have to remember 93% for female sterilization and only 7% for male sterilization. So women are bearing uneven burden of family planning. Now the next one is with regard to the recent changes which have been made in the liberalized remittance scheme. So under the recent changes, RBI has narrowed the definition of relatives under the maintenance of close relatives, which is one of the category under the liberalized remittance scheme, to which we can make remittances in an easier way, and this definition has now been narrowed in order to prevent the misuse of this particular facility. So now the funds under this category can be sent only to immediate relatives. So the scope of relatives, it has been restricted only to immediate relatives such as parents, spouses, children and their spouses. So this change is going to align the definition of a relative with the Companies Act 2013 instead of the earlier Companies Act 1956. So this is the rationale which is being given for the change. And if you look at the outward remittances figure under the maintenance of close relatives category, it shot up to almost $3 billion in 2017-18 from a mere $174 million in 2013-14. So it witnessed a significant jump, it witnessed significant rise, and due to this, these changes they were introduced in the liberalized remittance scheme. Also in June 2018, RBI had made PAN mandatory. PAN is permanent account number, mandatory for anyone who wish to use this facility of LRS for remitting money outside the country. Earlier, PAN was only required if you are crossing a certain threshold. Now let us also briefly learn about this liberalized remittance scheme. Now, Reserve Bank of India, it announced this particular scheme in February 2004, and under this scheme, all resident individuals including minors, they are allowed to freely remit up to $1,25,000 per financial year for any permissible current or capital account transaction or a combination of both. So this is the most important paragraph, this is the most important line with regard to liberalized remittance scheme. This is something which we have to remember. You have to remember that its scope, it includes both current as well as capital account, and the limit is $1,25,000 per financial year, and all resident individuals including minors, they are covered. Individuals, they can also open, maintain and hold foreign currency accounts with the banks outside India for carrying out the transactions which are permitted under the liberalized remittance scheme. However, there are some prohibited transactions, some prohibited remittances under this particular scheme. For example, they include purchasing of lottery tickets, proscribed magazines, remittance for margin or margin calls for overseas exchanges, etc. Remittance for purchasing foreign currency convertible bonds issued by Indian companies in overseas secondary market. remittance for trading in foreign exchange abroad, remittance directly or indirectly to Bhutan, Nepal, Mauritius and Pakistan, and some other restrictions are also there. So you have to remember that this scheme, this facility is not unrestricted, and there are some reasonable restrictions which have been imposed on the remittances under this particular facility. Now the next one is about CWC, that is Central Water Commission, and Google signing an agreement with regard to flood forecasting. So CWC, which is the India's apex technical organization with regard to management of water resources, it has entered into a collaborative agreement with Google. So these two organizations, they are going to come together and work in crisis management, and they're going to help tackle extreme hydrological events in a better managed manner. So this agreement is expected to result in saving of crores of rupees, because now CWC will be getting the technical help from Google, and otherwise for this particular help it would have spent huge amounts of money. So this is the benefit which the CWC is going to get, and this all is a part of the National Hydrology Project, which is again a World Bank assisted central sector scheme for better management of water resources in the country. Now the next one is about government expanding the BPO promotion scheme. So the Ministry of Electronics and IT is planning to expand its India BPO promotion scheme to 1 lakh seats from the current 48,000 seats. It is also going to set up a 5th and India's largest national data center in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, with a capacity of 5 lakh virtual servers. So here we have to remember that this India BPO promotion scheme, it was launched by the Ministry of Electronics and IT under the Digital India program to incentivize BPO and IT related operations in the country. This scheme, it aims to incentivize establishment of BPO firms and their extension to tier 2 and tier 3 cities. And this particular scheme, it is being implemented by Software Technology Parks of India, which is an autonomous society of Ministry of Electronics and IT. So here we have to remember that the BPO promotion scheme is being extended to 1 lakh seats, and it is a scheme under Ministry of Electronics and IT. Now the next one is about the Goa Revolution Day being celebrated on June 18th. So recently Goa celebrated its Revolution Day on 18th of June. And this dates back to 18th June 1946, when Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia and Dr. Julia Menes, they asked the Goans, the people of Goa, to stand against the oppression of Portuguese and to fight for their freedom. So this united all the people of Goa for a common cause, and they stood against the oppression. And since then this day is being remembered as the Goa Revolution Day, and it is being celebrated to commemorate the saga of the struggle of the people for freedom of Goa. Now the next one is about the constitution of Suresh Mathur Committee by Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, that is IRDA. So recently Insurance Regulator IRDA has formed a committee to review the regulations which govern the insurance marketing firms, and this committee is headed by Suresh Mathur, who is Executive Director of Insurance Marketing Firms IRDA, and has 9 other members. Now the terms of reference of this particular committee, they include revisiting the IRDA registration of insurance marketing firm regulations, recommend guidelines on the areas on which the regulations are silent, recommending for strengthening of the distribution channel of insurance marketing firms, and the committee is expected to come up with the recommendations before 31st of July 2018. So this is the timeline with regard to this Suresh Mathur committee. So we can be asked in the exam that recently Suresh Mathur committee has been constituted, and to which of the following aspects does this committee relate to? So this question can be framed. Now let us briefly learn about this Insurance Regulatory Authority of India. So this IRDA, or the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority, it is an apex statutory body with regard to development of insurance industry in India, and it was constituted as per the provisions of Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority Act 1999, and the headquarters of this particular authority, they are located in Hyderabad in Telangana. Now the next one is about the declaration of national targets for offshore wind energy by the government. So recently Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, it has announced medium and long term offshore wind energy target. So the medium target is 5 gigawatts by 2022, and the long term is 30 gigawatts by 2030, and this is expected to provide the confidence to the entire offshore wind power industry. So this offshore wind power, it is going to add a new element to the already existing basket of the renewable energies in the country. And the target which has been set for offshore wind power, it is moderate if we compare it to the onshore wind target, and this onshore wind target is around 60 gigawatts. And MNRE had notified National Offshore Wind Energy Policy in October 2015 for this particular sector, and this declaration of target, it is a step in this direction. Now under this particular policy, Chennai based National Institute of Water Energy has been designated as National Institute of Wind Energy, not Water Energy. It has been designated as a nodal agency to carry out necessary studies with regard to offshore wind project sites. Now currently India stands fifth in terms of renewable energy capacity with an installed capacity of 70 gigawatts, while another 40 gigawatts is under tendering or construction. So this is about the offshore wind power, the government deciding to move towards offshore wind power. And in this regard, we also have to remember about the renewable energy scenario of the country. Now the next one is about NHRR project, that is Nationwide Healthcare Establishment Census. So Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has recently launched the National Health Resource Repository, and this repository, it comprises of India's first ever national healthcare facilities. So it has the data relating to all the national healthcare facilities in the country, and it comprises authentic, standardized and updated data with regard to all the public as well as private healthcare establishment. Now under the Collection of Statistics Act of 2008, over 20 lakh healthcare establishments including hospitals, doctors, clinics, labs, nursing homes, etc., they are going to be covered, and the data is going to be captured on over 1400 variables. And for this purpose, the Central Bureau of Health Intelligence, that is CBHI, has also actively engaged with the different stakeholders. And overall, ISRO, that is Indian Space Research Organization, is the project technology partner with regard to this particular project, and it seeks to adhere to the paramount data security in this regard. Now the next one is about the launch of National Digital Library of India by the government. So recently Union Ministry of HRD has launched the National Digital Library of India on the occasion of National Reading Day. So this particular library, it is a project of MHRD, that is HRD Ministry, and this is under the aegis of National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology. Now the objective of setting this particular National Digital Library is to make educational resources digitally available to all the citizens of the country, and this library has been developed by IIT Kharagpur, and anybody can access this digital library anytime and anywhere absolutely free of cost. So this is going to make learning free. This is going to spread the wings of learning all over the country. Now this particular initiative by MHRD together with the National Virtual Library of India initiative, which is of Ministry of Culture, they are going to help India to leave an indelible mark on the world stage with respect to digital data or digital education or digital resources in the country. Now the next one is about Women Wizards Ruling Tech Program. So the Indian IT industry's apex body NASSCOM, it has launched the Women Wizards Rule Tech Program. So this program has been launched to increase the number of women at senior levels in the IT or the information technology industry. So this program, it was announced recently in March 2018, and it is a joint initiative of NASSCOM as well as the Data Security Council of India. So this program, it seeks to support women who are moving up in the career ladder, and it is also paving the way for potential women leaders for the future. Now this NASSCOM, it is a non-profit global trade association of Indian information technology and BPO industry, and it was established in 1988, and its headquarters, they are located in New Delhi. So we can be asked this question that recently this program Women Wizards Rule Tech Program has been launched, and we can be asked which agency, which apex body has launched this program. Now the next one is about the launch of 7-star Gram Panchayat Rainbow scheme. So recently Haryana government has decided to give star rankings to its panchayats on the basis of 7 social parameters under the state's 7-star Gram Panchayat Rainbow scheme. So under this scheme, there are going to be 7 social parameters on which the panchayats are going to be judged, and these parameters, they include sex ratio, education, hygiene, environment preservation, governance and social participation. and the stars of different colors, they are going to be awarded to panchayats depending on the performance of them in each parameters, and the Gram Panchayats scoring maximum in all the parameters, they are going to be recognized as Indradhanush Gram Panchayats. And under the rankings, under the scheme, Ambala has topped the star ranking, followed by the districts Gurugram and Karnal. So we can be asked this question that recently which of the following states has launched this 7-star Gram Panchayat Rainbow scheme. So we have to remember that this is the state of Haryana. Now the next one is about governor's rule being imposed in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So recently President Ramnath Kovind has approved the imposition of governor's rule in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Now this is the 8th time that in the last 4 decades that J&K has been put under the governor's rule, and this is the 3rd time under the J&K governor NN Vohra's tenure. Now in case of the failure of constitutional machinery in any other state of India, this president's rule is imposed generally under the provisions of the constitution. However, for the state of J&K, for which we have a separate state constitution as well, there is a provision for governor's rule instead of president rule, and this governor's rule, it is imposed in the state only after the consent of the President of India in case of the failure of constitutional machinery for a period of 6 months. So we have to remember that the governor's rule, it is a special provision with regard to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The next one is about A.R. Rahman being appointed as the brand ambassador of the Sikkim government. So this is very simple, this is very straightforward, that we have to remember that Indian composer and singer-songwriter Mr. A.R. Rahman, he has been appointed as the brand ambassador of the Sikkim government. So he is going to promote and project the Himalayan states' achievements nationally as well as globally. And this Sikkim state, it is also very famous for its eco-tourism destinations, and it also has the distinct identity of being the first fully organic farming state of India. So this is a very important factoid with regard to the state of Sikkim. Now the next one is about the Center for United Nations Peacekeeping's training course on civilian protection. So recently CUNPK, that is the Center for United Nations Peacekeeping India, and the Global Center for the Responsibility to Protect, they have started this pilot project, that is training of trainers course on civilian protection and the responsibility to protect. This has been launched at the Manekshaw Center, New Delhi, India from 18th to 22nd June 2018. Now this particular training course, it is designed for mid-level military officials from the countries that are active troop contributing countries to the UN peacekeeping operations. Now this CUNPK, that is the Center for United Nations Peacekeeping, it was set up in New Delhi, and it draws on India's vast experience in the field of UN peacekeeping. Now the next one is about the launch of iHaryali app by the Punjab government. So Punjab government has recently launched this iHaryali under the mission Tandurust Punjab, and the objective of this particular app is to increase the green cover in the state. And this mobile application, it is going to enable the users to order free plant samplings. So using this mobile application, the users can order free plant samplings, and the aim is to inspire more and more people to plant maximum saplings during the current monsoon season, so that they can save the environment from pollution hazards. So it is going to promote clean, green, healthy and robust Punjab, and this is also going to involve or support the active participation of people in promoting greenery in the state of Punjab. So this we have to remember, that recently iHaryali app has been launched by Punjab government. Now the next one is about the observance of 20th of June as the World Refugee Day. Now the World Refugee Day is held every year on June 20th to commemorate the strength, courage and perseverance of millions of refugees. So you have to remember that 20th of June is the World Refugee Day, and the theme for 2018 World Refugee Day, it was now more than ever we need to stand with refugees. So this we have to remember. We have to remember the theme. Now this World Refugee Day, it was initially proclaimed by the UN General Assembly by passing a resolution in December 2000. So this is very old, and this resolution was passed to mark the 50th anniversary of UN Refugee Convention 1951. Now since then it is observed annually with different themes. Now the next one is about the world's first international center for human forensics. So the world's first of its kind and state-of-the-art international center for humanitarian forensics, it has been launched at the Gujarat Forensic Sciences University in Gandhinagar, Gujarat. So this is a very important factoid because it is about the world's first international center, and we have to remember that this has been recently launched at the Gujarat Forensic Sciences University in Gandhinagar, Gujarat. So this particular center, it is a joint venture of the regional delegation of International Committee of Red Cross in India, Bhutan, Nepal and Maldives, and also Gujarat Forensic Science University. Now, the main aim of this center is going to provide service to the nation and to the entire world when the need arises with regard to humanitarian forensics. Now this Gujarat Forensic Science University is the world's first and only university which is dedicated to forensic and allied sciences, and it is located in Gandhinagar, which is the capital of the state of Gujarat. Now the next one is about the India Smart Cities Awards 2018. So these India Smart Cities Awards 2018, they were initially launched on 25th June 2017 by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and the objective behind introducing them was to reward the cities, projects and innovative ideas and to promote sustainable development in cities. Now under these awards, the Surat Smart City, it has been selected for the City Award for showing great momentum in implementation of projects under the India Smart Cities Award 2018 category. And the Bhopal and Ahmedabad, they have been selected for Innovative Idea Award, and 9 awards overall were awarded in 3 categories, that is Project Award, Innovative Idea Award and a City Award, and they were announced under the India Smart Cities Awards. So this is some of the very important factual information that we have to remember about the India Smart Cities Awards 2018. Now the next one is about the United States quitting the United Nations Human Rights Council. So United States has recently announced its withdrawal from this very important UN organization, that is the United Nations Human Rights Council, and this withdrawal has been announced, accusing the council of the bias against the US ally, that is Israel. Now let us briefly learn about this UNHRC. Now this UNHRC, it is an intergovernmental body under the United Nations system, and this body, it is responsible for strengthening, promotion and protection of human rights across the globe, and it investigates the situations relating to human rights violations and makes recommendations with regard to them. It had replaced the former UN Commission on Human Rights, and its headquarters are located in Geneva, Switzerland, and it is made up of 47 UN member states which are elected by the UN General Assembly. So this is about the US quitting UNHRC. Now the next one is about the Prime Minister's Award for Yoga. So recently, Vishwas Mandalik from Nasik and the Yoga Institute in Mumbai, they have won the Prime Minister's Award for outstanding contribution for promotion and development of yoga. Now Mandalik won the award in the category of individual, and the Yoga Institute, it won the award in the category of organization, and this selection was done from among the 186 nominations which were received for the year 2018. Now the Yoga Institute in Mumbai, which has won the award in the institutional category, this was set up in 1918 by Yogendra ji, and it has recently completed 100 years of establishment, and in its achievements it has earned laurels in the form of producing more than 50,000 yoga teachers and has over 500 publications to its credit. Now these awards, they were awarded by the Ministry of Ayush, and each award, it carried a cash award of around rupees 25 lakh. Now the next news, it is from the world of glamour. It is about the Femina Miss India 2018. So recently, 19-year-old Anukriti Vyas from Tamil Nadu has been crowned as the Femina Miss India 2018 in Mumbai. And Anukriti Vyas is a 19-year-old college student from Tamil Nadu, and she was crowned in an extravagant ceremony which was hosted by the filmmaker Karan Johar and Bollywood actor Ayushmann Khurrana. And Meenakshi Chaudhary from Haryana has been declared as the first runner-up, while Andhra Pradesh Shrey Rao Kamvarapu stood as the second runner-up in this beauty competition. Now the next one is about the top lifetime achievement award being bestowed to director Martin Scorsese. So recently veteran director Martin Scorsese has been conferred with the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Rome Film Festival. So this is important. We have to remember about this Rome Film Festival. That under this Rome Film Festival, this Lifetime Achievement Award is given, and it is being given to veteran director Martin Scorsese. Mr. Martin is an American director, producer, screenwriter, actor, and a film historian. Now next one is about the government releasing the draft on cross-border insolvency resolution. Now in order to strengthen the insolvency framework in the country and in order to boost the insolvency and bankruptcy code which has been formulated by the government, Ministry of Corporate Affairs has released a draft on cross-border insolvency. So this draft, it is expected to help the banks access the overseas assets of the companies which are undergoing resolution. So there are some companies which are having assets overseas, and in case of insolvency, to access those particular assets, this draft has been introduced, and it favors the adoption of UNITRAL, that is the United Nations Commission on International Trade Laws model on dealing with this cross-border insolvency. Now under this model envisages a balance between liquidation and reorganization of global companies going in for resolution. Now the existing IBC provision, it provides for two sections, 234 and 5, and they relate to cross-border insolvency, but they are not adequate to effectively deal with all the default cases, for example as was in the case of Kingfisher Airlines. So this is why that the government has released the draft cross-border insolvency resolution. Now next one is about the rise in the hungry population in the world. So this is as per the recent United Nations report which was released on 21st June 2018, which says that the number of hungry people in the world has risen for the first time in more than a decade. So this is a very important finding of this United Nations report, and as per this report, there are now approximately 38 million more undernourished people in the world. They were around 777 million in 2015, and now they are around 815 million in 2016. Now as per the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2018 report, conflict and climate change, they are the two main drivers of food insecurity in 18 countries. Now the next one is about India notifying higher tariffs on US imports. So recently India has imposed higher tariff rates on 25 import items from the United States in June 2018. So this is a very recent news, and this list of 29 items, it includes agricultural products such as apples, almonds, lentils, walnuts, and industrial inputs such as some grades of iron and steel products, etc. And this can be seen in the light of recent notification by US in which it imposed higher tariffs on the steel and aluminium imports which are mainly from India. So it was in this regard that India recently increased this tariffs on different US imports. India has also recently notified the World Trade Organization of its decision to impose these reciprocal tariffs on American products. Now next one is about the celebration of the International Day of Yoga. So this yoga is very important. In the previous slides we learnt about this award for yoga, and now we are learning about the International Day of Yoga, which was celebrated on 21st of June. So International Day of Yoga, it is observed annually on 21st of June, and it was declared so unanimously by the United Nations General Assembly in 2015. So the fourth International Yoga Day, it was celebrated on June 21st, 2018 across the country, and the theme for this year, it was Yoga for Peace, and the main event in India, it was held at Dehradun's Forest Research Institution, in which Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi participated, and the Honorable President of India Shri Ramnath Kovind, he was on a state visit to Suriname, which is a country in South America, and he participated in the celebrations with regard to the International Day of Yoga with the President of Suriname. Now next one is about the Prime Minister inaugurating the third AIIB, that is Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank's annual meeting 2018. So Department of Economic Affairs in the Ministry of Finance and the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, they are jointly going to host the third annual meeting of the AIIB on June 25 to 26, 2018 in Mumbai. The theme for this year's meeting, it is mobilizing finance for infrastructure, innovation and collaboration. And if you learn more about this Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, it is a multilateral development bank that aims to support the building of infrastructure in the Asia Pacific region. This bank currently has 87 members from around the world, and it is headquartered in Beijing in China. So this is about the third AIIB annual meeting, and we have to remember that it is being hosted in Mumbai. Now the next one is about the use of AADHAAR biometric data for criminal investigation, and UIDAI has recently notified that the biometric data which has been collected, it cannot be used for criminal investigation under the AADHAAR Act of 2016. So according to UIDAI, that is the authority for AADHAAR, Unique Identification Authority of India, AADHAAR Act only allows a very limited exception to this under section 33 of the AADHAAR Act, and it permits the use or access to AADHAAR biometric data only in those cases which involve national security, and this is possible even only after pre-authorization by an oversight committee which will be constituted, and it will be headed by the cabinet secretary. So this AADHAAR Act, it prescribes biometric information such as photograph, fingerprint, iris scan or other biological attributes of an individual. So these are the very confidential data which are there under this AADHAAR database, and UIDAI is the statutory authority which has been established under the provisions of the AADHAAR Act, and it is under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Now the next one is about the Indian Army contingent in the UN South Sudan force being awarded. So recently Indian Army contingent 7 Gadwal Rifles Infantry Battalion Group, which is part of the UN peacekeeping forces in South Sudan, it was awarded the UN, that is the United Nations Medal for Selfless Service. So the Indian Army, it is the largest contributor of troops to the UN peacekeeping missions, and the mission of this UNPK, that is the UN peacekeeping mission, it is mandated to maintain stability and negotiate peace settlement in turbulent regions of the world, for example South Sudan. And so far India has provided almost 2 lakh troops in nearly 50 of the 71 UN peacekeeping missions over the past 6 decades, and last year around 7600 Indian peacekeepers were deployed in the UN mission. Now the next one is about the Mongolia's first oil refinery which is being set up with the aid from India. So recently Mongolia has launched the construction of its first strategically important oil refinery in southern Donogovi province. Now this construction, it is being fully funded by the government of India under a soft credit line of $1 billion, and this project, it is a part of India's efforts to develop or improve ties with the landlocked country and help reduce its energy dependence on the neighboring China and Russia. Also, India was one of the first country to establish diplomatic relations with Mongolia after it came out of the communistic bloc. So this is about the growing relations between India and Mongolia, which is a country between China and Russia. Now next one is about the government considering to make 24 degrees Celsius as the default settings in air conditioners. So the Union Power Ministry is considering to keep the default setting of ACs at 24 degrees Celsius, and it is expected to save a lot of energy. So ministry has suggested that manufacturers carry out the labeling indicating optimum temperature which should be set both from the financial and the health point of view, and this temperature is expected to be in the 24 to 26 degrees Celsius range. And the ministry is also considering making this mandatory after an awareness campaign of 4 to 6 months, followed by a survey to gather public feedback in this regard. And if all the consumers they adopt these settings, it is going to result in the savings of 20 billion units of electricity in 1 year alone. The release which was published by the government, it said. So guys, this is all about our discussion on some of the very important current affairs from 19th of June to 23rd of June 2018. Thank you guys. If you found this video useful, please like the same and share it with your friends, and for more similar videos please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Thank you.